The manga industry is in danger. Danger. Let's talk about it. So, manga, AI, life. Let's talk about
A
it.
lot weirder as it progresses. We only have a month and a half left, but more and more crazy things keep happening. This is not something I ever expected to see, but Araki, the artist and writer of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the man that
Ugh.
created this entity himself, has made a comment on AI artwork and how it's not just affecting him, but how it's going to affect the manga industry as a whole. And obviously, he doesn't talk about anime, but as AI continues to progress and evolve, it's eventually going to affect anime as well. So I want to
Yes.
read this first before I
AI affects everything. Everything.
go any further, and then let's just dive headfirst into what's going on here and what the actual problem is. So, speaking about society evils, I think that as AI continues to spread throughout society, we're going to see an increasingly shady world filled with scammers exploiting it. Recently, I came across a drawing and thought, this is something I drew, right? I was shocked to find out it was actually created by AI. When I draw manga, I add subtle, personal elements that make the work uniquely mine. But this AI generated piece even mimicked details like the way I draw eyelashes so precisely that it was almost impossible to tell it apart from my work. If it were based on recent drawings, I know right away. Okay, let's say JoJo Part 7, Part 8, you get the point. He would know right away. No, I didn't draw this, but on the other hand, I honestly wouldn't be able to tell the difference if it was done with my art from about 10 years ago, when my memory of it would be a little hazy. The more AI advances, the more this kind of thing will happen. Art
True.
reflects the times, and manga, and it is one example of that. Seeing this world of con artists appear in manga could very well mean that we're headed for a future world dominated by fraudsters. This type of evil in today's age will undoubtedly end up impacting manga down the line. Copyright infringement by AI is also a villain that we manga artists must face. The extreme scenario is that AI-generated fakes might start becoming accepted as the real thing. And even if we try to protect our work, these counterfeits are becoming so accurate and so
People
sophisticated
can't
that it's
tell.
no longer a fight an individual can win, aka an offer. An artist, aka like the manga offer. Having some kind of laws could probably be the only way to regulate
Yeah,
this.
good luck.
However, because we're dealing with the world of con artists, there's also a very real possibility that laws favoring them will appear before we know it. Personally, I entrust my copyright management to Shueisha, but some manga artists are lax in managing their copyrights, leading to others using their artwork without permission or even leaking original drawings. When I see that, I worry that they might face serious trouble down the line if they don't take it more seriously. This
There's a lot to unpack here. I honestly, I'm gonna let Chibi speak. I just want to let you guys know that I probably will say a lot about just AI in general and how that is going to shape and change humanity as we know it. I'm gonna let Chibi talk about manga and anime because he is the subject matter expert when it comes to that, and I'm just the subject matter expert when it comes to life in general. So let's go ahead and let Chibi take the stand. Chibi, let them know what you think.
This is honestly not something I expected to read today. When I opened up social media and I saw this, this is the page that posted it, by the way. They are like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Encyclopedia. I'm assuming they translate a bunch of stuff that Araki says and all that. You can say they posted quite a bit, but this is one that really stood out to me. And that is the fact that Araki's comment on AI is a warning. It is a canary in a mine situation to where if it is not listened to, it's going to end up being a very drastic and dire situation, not just for artists, but for the manga industry itself. Because one thing in particular that this is leading to is fake information getting out there. And let's explain that one. Araki himself even explained that the AI art is getting so sophisticated that it is able to perfectly replicate the intricate details that he personally adds in as an artist that normal people wouldn't do. And AI is replicating that perfectly, almost to the point where he can't even tell the difference. The own artist
He
can't
can't
even
even
really see the
tell.
difference between
Yeah,
AI work and his own. That's just how
that's
close of a
how amazing it's
resemblance it
getting.
is. And as time continues to creep on and it gets more and more evolved as, you know, AI art does, it's going to get to the point to where people will start looking at, let's say, fully generated AI chapters of a certain
Absolutely.
manga or something, and they legitimately might think it's actually real. That
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes beyond just the illustrations. Literally, you could have a full blown what if scenario, like Dragon Ball community, they do the what if scenario, like what if Goku never lost his tail, or what if Goku went Super Saiyan in the Saiyan arc, stuff like that, and it trickles down, and they create their own stories within the framing of the Dragon Ball series. Now, AI can already do these things, right? They can create stories that are actually pretty detailed in what would be pretty similar to any other human being that would come up to with a what if scenario. So, like in JoJo's, what if Jotaro never had a stand or something like this? Like this can be created with an AI, this whole story, and it can go into fine detail. And you know what the best part is? If you don't like parts of it, you could have the AI remake and reshape these parts to go into whatever personal favor you agree with. So if you watch, say, shout out to Salad Saiyan, you watch a Salad Saiyan video, what if Goku and Broly were twins, right? But you don't agree with certain parts of the story. Well, if it was with an AI, you can say, well, tweak it or change it like this. And you can have that entire thing generated. And on top of that, you could have AI illustrations generated on top of it, right? AI impacts and affects everything. And I don't even know what laws you can even get to put in place, because it's like, what laws can you really put to say like AI cannot touch this, right? If you're going to say, oh, let's make a law so AI cannot touch creative arts or human expression, right? So then you're saying, okay, well, AI can't create music. It already does this. You saying AI can't create art. It already does this. You saying AI cannot create entertainment. It already does these things, and it's going to get better, and it gets better every day, right? How can you really make a law to impact that much progression in technology and expect to have no type of face back or lashback from anybody else that just enjoys technology as a whole, right? Technology has always impacted certain parts of specific people's lives, right? Example, the cotton gin. There were people that had jobs to get cotton, take the seeds out, whatever, and they can make clothing. And then the cotton gin came around and it replaced those jobs, right? The thing is, with AI and technology and job replacement, it affects everybody, legitimately every single person. Like last night, I was watching or listening to an audiobook, and the audiobook was generated by AI. And like, this is a whole YouTube channel that's been around for 1 year, and they're already at 80,000 subscribers, right? People are subscribing to this thing. Like, even me, like, I would subscribe to it because it is actually interesting. And just because it's AI doesn't mean it's bad. Like, AI legitimately is another tool. And yeah, AI is going to mess with manga, because there are people that are passionate about manga, and then there's people that are passionate about AI. Of course, these two things are going to coexist or intersect. And it's one of those things where, like, yeah, people jobs and their lives are in jeopardy. Like the famous mangaka that you like, their work is being replicated, and that's the part where I don't agree. Like, if you're going to create something with AI, let it be something of your own, or let it be some type of spin-off. Don't make it be some type of perfect replacement for somebody. And big corporations and big companies are probably going to just, they're going to skip all the extra shit that I just said and say, oh, well, yeah, we should do that. We should have AI just, Akira Toriyama passed away. Well, Dragon Ball Super still needs more manga. So let's go ahead and have AI just, boom, feed it all of Akira Toriyama stuff, and then spit out whatever the next possible chapter is that Akira Toriyama possibly or logically could have made, even though you wouldn't have 100% accuracy of what Akira Toriyama would have wanted, because again, the man is no longer here on this planet to create his art and share it with the world. So yeah, it's absolutely terrifying, and yeah, it definitely sucks 100%. That being said, what is it that you could legitimately do with like this warning, like this canary in a coal mine warning? What can you do about it? Like, yeah, you could raise awareness about the AI, but again, more people are going to end up just enjoying the AI anyways. If the content is good, people don't care where it comes from. Like, they care for a little bit until everybody else starts saying, well, man, this shit's good, so fuck what you're saying. I'm going to enjoy it. And then either they jump in line and start enjoying it too, or they're the only one outside talking about they don't like it. So yeah, what can you do in this situation? hey, honestly, I couldn't tell you the answer besides saying like, hey, you got to roll with the punches.
That is the scary possibility that he's thinking about, is that there could be images or chapters that come out or just full-blown AI generated artwork, and it looks so realistic, so in-depth to the original source that you can't even tell the difference, and it can confuse a lot of people, and people could potentially make profit off this as well. That's
Yeah,
one scary thing that potentially he's bringing up. But also another thing he's mentioning too is that with the evolution of AI artwork and all that, it's going to get a lot harder to, people to resist maybe even using it themselves, because obviously if you could generate something that's just so similar to the original piece or other forms of art styles, you're going to have these newcomers that maybe come into the manga industry trying to draw, and they will also incorporate AI
yeah.
artwork with their drawings as well.
And you know what? When it comes to that specific situation, that sounds like a positive because if you want to be a mangaka or whatever, and you can't do it on your own, maybe you have some injury in your wrist or injury in your hand, and that affects the way you create art. And you can have, like, you create something and then you can have AI brush upon it. I mean, that's a tool. That's literally a tool like everything else. Everything else and everything in this world can be a tool and it can help you. That being said, yes, this tool is going to allow people to take shortcuts. That doesn't mean you should just punish everybody that's using it because there are some people that are willing to cheat the system. There are always going to be somebody that wants to cheat the system. And the hard part about it when it comes to AI, you you don't really always know who is cheating the system and who's actually using it like a tool or use it in a way that is socially more acceptable, right? Like I said earlier, like if you have a wrist injury and like boom, you draw something, you have an AI make it look better. Okay, boom, like not many people are going to compare are going to care compared to somebody that just takes something and just say, okay, create this shit and then sells it, right? But, morals, good and bad, all of these things are super subjective and they're all to each individual's interpretation, man. There's no real good or bad. Just know people are going to cheat the system and then you just move accordingly.
So this can definitely lead to a very vast change within the manga industry if left unchecked. Now, I have been very vocal about this in the past, and I obviously am not an artist, so I don't have really much to really say about the artwork department, besides what I'm just reading out here, trying to be as neutral as possible on it. But I will say, regardless of my stance, on anything, I don't think artwork should be stolen from artists without their permission. I think that's completely wrong. I'm just going to say that right now. But I do think that regardless if people like it or love it, AI, even if you don't want it, it is being pushed into the future. It's going to happen, even if you want it or not.
It's in the
It's just
present.
it's
It's not
involved.
even the future. It's the
So what
present.
Araki brings up is that regulation is the only way to really combat it, because AI is here, it is to stay, and it's going to keep growing as time goes on. So regulation, in this case, what he's trying to probably say is how AI artwork can be even used. For instance, how it can incorporate or use different images or artwork to create something. I'm assuming more or less that that's what he wants. And I think in general, the general populace, even if they are for AI, probably agree that there does need to be some form of regulation. I think having
Yeah,
completely unregulated stuff on
100%. Yeah, there should be regulation for a lot of things. That being said, when it comes to AI, how can you regulate this?
that probably would not be for the best, because it could lead to a lot of damages. I mean, let's think of deepfakes, for instance, with how deepfakes can be made for
Absolutely.
certain individuals or very famous people. That's very
Absolutely.
dangerous in of itself. So it's I can understand Araki's point of view that there does need to be something put in place to combat this, but as more and more, people use AI and it becomes more and more accepted, rules and laws might be put in place to actually embrace AI to the point to where the original artists and copyright owners might not really have a word or thing to say about it. So that is something to really note. But anyways, this is quite a discussion, because this is very relevant to what I'm about to show is that this piece of artwork right here, at first
Huh.
glance, it looks like Miku. It's a cat Miku, and
Yeah,
obviously,
it's cute.
because of the context of this video, I think you kind of already understand that this is AI artwork.
And
But
it looks
this
really
is
good.
fooling people on social media right
And it looks really good. Exactly. It's fooling people. It looks really good.
Now, there's a lot of people talking about it. It's got 10 million views, as you can see here.
10 million
And
people saw
legitimately,
this.
very big artists and a lot of people all over social media is legitimately faking that this is actually drawn. And then they turn around and find out that this is actually AI. Now, this actual profile here is not trying to hide it. You can literally see it right here that they straight up say they do use AI. So it's not like they try to hide that they're using AI artwork or anything. But this artwork is just so realistic to the point that it is fooling a lot of people. And one thing people have tried to point out is the hands, because obviously that's one indication to see if it's AI artwork or not. And if you look closely, there is a line here at the top of this hand right here, and none over here. There is differences, but because of how the
Bro. Oh, wow. Because that's exactly where everybody was looking, the hands. They weren't looking at the mini skirt. They weren't looking at the thighs. They weren't looking at the tail or the face. It's the hands. Brother, like yeah, it's super minute detail that is going to be missed when it comes to AI currently. Yeah, that's the only way to figure it out. But that doesn't like yeah, the hands are not identical. Does that mean the whole artwork now is just like thrown away? Absolutely not. So yeah, like congratulations, man. Like, well, for this, like, of course, it's not hidden, but other people, yeah, when they're going to hide it, a lot of people are gonna miss the parts that are like more easy to tell. Like, oh, maybe this is AI. The hand is like literally one, if not the only example. Like, maybe if you're an artist, you can pick out more stuff. But just because you're not a subject matter expert in something, like don't I mean just because you are a subject matter expert in something does not mean everybody else is, right? So nobody else is going to really care, right? The only people that are going to truly care are the people that are in the scene deeply. But just again, that's not how the world works. Like if you're a musician, you know more about music than other people do, but if it makes people dance or move their head, they're gonna like it regardless if it came from AI or it came from the greatest person to ever strum a guitar. It doesn't matter. If it's good, it's good. And that's the thing. Unless you're gonna train humans to say, well, no, we want a specific quality standard, yeah, good luck, brother, because some people will just take it and it just is what it is, right? Not everybody can be super stingy or super picky or super specific to something that they like. If they like it, they like it. It doesn't matter how good or how great it is. Hey, if it, bro, people eat McDonald's and that shit's legitimately poison versus going to a gourmet restaurant, right? One costs more than the other, right? On top of that, more people just like McDonald's. I mean, there's a reason why it's the most popular restaurant in the world. Most popular. Bro, it's just because it's so fucking prevalent. It's not even that it's most popular. It's just it's so prevalent. It's everywhere. And that's it. Like the AI and McDonald's are similar in that aspect. They're both so prevalent and they're both so inexpensive. Well, McDonald's is becoming more expensive, but we'll talk about that in like a food video.
discrepancy is so minuscule, it leads people to believe that it just might be an artwork error, because artists do make errors sometimes when
Yes,
they're
they're
drawing
human.
something. So there is even little minor details here that could just be chopped up to just an artist error instead of just AI messing something up. And that's crazy. AI
I mean, bro, what's the big difference between a human having a mistake and an AI having a mistake? Unless you want AI to be perfect. I mean, which I guess would be the goal. But if you're making AI perfect, like that, then that's the point. You want it to be perfect. So like we're having a big issue where we're creating something that's super intelligent and does everything we want, but then because we're humans, we're scared because we're creating something that's not human. We're creating something that's better than us. And it's like, bro, like that's how it works, bro. Like when you have a kid, if you're an NBA player and then you got injured and then you have a kid and your son makes it to the Hall of Fame, yeah, you're gonna be proud because that's your son, but you're also gonna feel a type of way because that's not you. That's your son. So it just is what it is.
has evolved to the point to where the common individual really cannot tell the difference. And when it's gotten to that point, it's really like, Araki said himself, it's a fight you really can't win. So, yeah, I wanted to bring this up. This is very relevant to the discussion of this situation with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you think about Araki's take on AI artwork? Do you think that, it's going to, come into manga culture and really,
Yes.
do something to it? Let me
Yes.
know your honest thoughts in the comments.
Yes, and I think this will be a battle that's fought on multiple fronts. And I think at the end of the day, there's going to be more ways to try and have a human only space for everything, like whether it's manga or music or videos, right? There's going to be a certain space for specific people that it's like, hey, we only like human stuff. We're pro-human. We only care about human stuff. We don't care about technology or AI because these people already exist, right? The people that live off the grid, right? They don't got to worry about this shit because they're self-sustained and they're living on a farm somewhere in rural wherever with solar panels and living their own lives, right? And it's not going to affect them to the extent that it affects you, the person constantly scrolling and watching shit all day, right? It's basically something for consumers. And since we have been bred to consume, well, no surprise that there's going to be easier ways to mass produce things for people to consume on a mass production scale. It's just, bro, one plus one equals two. But yeah, it's it's the future we're living in, bro. It's the present. It's not even like something that you got to worry about next month, next year. Like it's something that's here today and it started yesterday and you just became aware of it. So it just is what it is, man. That is life. But yeah, definitely I would say raising awareness of these things is important. But at the end of the day, like you could raise awareness all day, doesn't mean people care. Like how many people are outside with signs like, oh yeah, this is bad, and then like somebody walks right past them and goes into that same store. Like, oh damn, that's crazy. Continue about my day. It's just how it works, brother. I'm here to let you guys be aware and be known of that fact that that is how the world works because people only care about themselves. Anyways, this is your boy KhunShawn. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Great video by Chibi Reviews. I enjoy hearing this man talk about manga and anime. He's very passionate. He cares a lot about it. Very opinionated guy. I'd love to interview him one day. So yeah, Chibi, if you're free for an interview, your boy KhunShawn's hosting an interview. So if you want to come on the show and talk about manga, AI, whatever, we can talk about it. Anyways, it's your boy KhunShawn. Comment, rate, subscribe. Bye.